Kindness is a weapon, and they're using it against you. They don't need to fight you. They only need to disarm you. And what better weapon than kindness? Not the genuine kind, the strategic kind. Not kindness that comes from care, but kindness that comes from control. You see, when they realized you couldn't be dominated by fear, they chose to tame you with softness. They didn't need chains, they used compliments. They didn't need prisons, they used praise. Because nothing weakens a lion more than the illusion that he's already free. You were told to be kind, to be gentle, to always consider others, to always say yes, to never offend, to shrink yourself in the name of peace. But have you ever stopped to ask, who benefits from that version of you? Because a world that insists on kindness at all costs isn't teaching virtue. It's teaching obedience. It's breeding docility. It's manufacturing politeness to prevent resistance. They don't want warriors. They want well-behaved servants with good manners. And so, kindness becomes currency. They give it to those who play along, and withdraw it from those who step out of line. That's not love. That's leverage. In workplaces, you'll see it. Managers praising you with smiles while piling more weight on your back, telling you you're a team player as they bleed you dry for extra hours. And the moment you say no, you're not being cooperative. You've changed. You're difficult. What changed? You stopped being useful to them. You stopped being nice on demand. In relationships, it's the same. People who are kind only when they're in control. Loving, gentle, thoughtful, until you set a boundary, until you say, enough. Then suddenly, their kindness vanishes. Because it was never kindness. It was manipulation wrapped in sugar. You were taught that kindness is the highest virtue, but they didn't tell you. Virtue without power is servitude. Machiavelli knew this. He said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Not because love is worthless, but because love is fickle. Because people's affection shifts with the wind. Because those who love you today may forget you tomorrow. But fear has memory. They say kindness is strength. And sometimes it is. But when weaponized, it becomes the tool of the manipulator. A velvet rope that feels like a hug until it tightens. In the corporate world, it's called company culture. In politics, it's called diplomacy. In personal life, it's emotional intelligence. But behind every term, the strategy is the same. Make you feel good, so you don't notice the blade at your back. The most dangerous people are not those who rage. They're the ones who smile while rewriting the rules. Who lower your defenses with charm and take what they need. Ask yourself, why is society obsessed with kindness, but silent about boundaries? Why do schools reward politeness more than courage? Why are we told to be nice instead of be wise? Because wisdom resists. Wisdom sees through the mask. Wisdom says, I'll be kind, but I won't be blind. They fear wisdom more than rebellion. Because rebellion is loud and obvious, but wisdom is quiet and precise. It questions. It observes. It says, this smile you're giving me, what's behind it? If you're powerful and unkind, they call you a tyrant. If you're weak and kind, they call you a saint. But if you're powerful and kind and aware, they call you dangerous. Because you can't be seduced by flattery. You can't be controlled by guilt. And you cannot be softened by shallow praise. In your life, count how many times you've been manipulated by kindness. How many times you said yes because you didn't want to disappoint. How many times you betrayed yourself just to preserve the peace. That's not kindness. That's programming. They've trained you to equate resistance with cruelty, to believe that standing up for yourself is selfish, to feel shame for protecting your time, your energy, your values. But here's the truth. You can be kind and ruthless. You can be generous and unyielding. You can be warm and impossible to fool. The world needs fewer obedient people with smiles plastered on their faces. It needs more sovereign minds. People who choose kindness, not because they were told to, but because it serves their principles, not someone else's power. There is a reason they praise you when you're agreeable, and go silent when you speak your truth. There's a reason they call you difficult when you say no, and selfless when you say yes to your own detriment. They want your kindness, not for your growth, but for their convenience. So what do? You become conscious. You watch the smile that comes too quickly. You question the compliment that arrives right before the favor. You listen to the praise that feels like bait, and you sharpen your kindness until it cuts. Kindness isn't weakness, unless you forget your power, and power without kindness becomes tyranny. But when the two are united, kindness and power, that is ungovernable. The one who is kind by choice, not programming, cannot be manipulated. He is feared, because he cannot be guilted into silence, because he can walk away and mean it, because he sees through the velvet glove to the iron fist beneath. This is not a call to cruelty. This is a call to clarity, to reclaim the weapon they stole from you. Because when they tell you, be kind, they often mean, be passive. When they say, be nice, they often mean, don't resist. But from now on, let your kindness be sharp. Let it be chosen. Let it be earned, not extracted. You are not here to be liked. You are here to see clearly, to build, to defend, to awaken. And sometimes that means being kind. And sometimes that means saying, no. So when they smile and say, come on, don't be so hard, smile back. And remember, kindness is not your cage. It is your sword. Use it wisely.